The VLGA is very proud to launch FastTrack 2025 to be held at the RACV Club on Friday, the 2nd of May. Our premier leadership conference, this FastTrack will focus on leading with integrity, exploring ways councils lead responsibly, ensure good governance in decision-making, and effectively represent the interests of their communities. We'll be joined by Local Government Minister Nick Stakos, the Lord Mayor of Melbourne City, Nicholas Rees, and comedian Anthony Lehman, or Lemo as we know him from the hit series Utopia, as well as some amazing panellists who will all share their knowledge and experience. At a state level, there are many bodies which guide and assist the local government sector. This panel will delve into the vital role of collaboration between local, state and federal agencies in preventing fraud and corruption in local government. We'll hear from the Victorian Auditor-General's Office, the Victorian Ombudsman, the Victorian Local Government Inspectorate and the IBAC on how they work together and in partnership with local government to ensure the integrity of the sector.
I think it's absolutely critical for a number of reasons. One, because we will all have sort of useful intelligence. We'll all have slightly different parts of a picture of what happens across the sector. So I think things that I don't know, perhaps the Auditor-General knows or the LGI might have seen it, or it might be bread and butter for IBAC. So I think it's really important that we're, to the extent that it's appropriate and possible under all of our legislative regimes, obviously we're sharing that information so that we can remain as informed and across what's going on in the sector as possible. For that reason, I also think it's really important that we engage with the sector itself and understand challenges and pressures that are going on in the sector. But then I also think that collaboration is really important because oftentimes, as we all know, we'll have people that will complain to multiple agencies and we'll be dealing with different aspects of the same thing and just making sure that we're trying to connect those dots, because our footprint on organisations can be very heavy if it's at the same time. So we need to be mindful and respectful of the fact that agencies have got work that they've got to do. We obviously have roles and functions that we need to discharge, but trying to do that in a coordinated and streamlined way is really important.
Oh, it's vital that we all work together. While we all have different roles and distinct roles in the integrity system in Victoria, working together, sounds a bit quiche, but we're greater than the sum of our parts. So at IBAC, we regularly meet with integrity agency partners in Victoria to collaborate on corruption prevention and education resources for training in public sector, local government, of course, and for the community. And we also, of course, work with state and local government bodies to provide support and expertise around building integrity and preventing corruption. I think that the key point also to be made is whilst we have distinct areas, there's a no wrong door approach. So if you contact IBAC and it's a matter more appropriate for the Victorian Ombudsman or more appropriate for the local government inspector, we'll make contact with them. If there's something that comes through my door and also comes through one of their doors and we should be working together on it, we do. So we're working together behind the scenes. It doesn't matter if you go to one or the other. Again, vital. I mean, I think first and foremost, for the majority of people that are here for a reason and a purpose, proud public servants, there's a great deal of shame when something is exposed. And it might be natural for people to try to distance themselves from that. That doesn't help us learn, and that doesn't help us understand where there's key risks and how we can ensure that our agencies aren't, or our areas aren't open to those risks. So we need to talk about it. We need to actually sit in that discomfort when things have gone wrong, whether it's in our area or somebody else's. Speak about it and learn from it. So it's vitally important to be open and to be open to the fact that, there's risks when we're dealing with public monies, public resources. There are people that will want to misuse that. How do we make sure that it doesn't happen in our space?
I think it's really important that we have open conversations about fraud and corruption, because there might be things that are going on somewhere else particularly when you're talking about a statewide group of services, which councils are, there's 79 across the state, that things may be experienced in one part of the state or in one council that people haven't seen before. So unless you're trying to be as open as possible about some of the challenges that you've had, the risks that you're managing, how it's played out, how else can anyone learn? I mean, we're all learning, and so we all need to, the extent that we can, given that we've often subject to secrecy, confidentiality, privacy, all of those sorts of things, trying to share those learnings so that we can all improve. And I think continuous improvement is really important, which is why days like this are so important, so that we can share that information and knowledge and reflect on whether or not that's something we should be dealing with in our own agency or wherever we work.
So we can see from our surveys and the response from different areas and including local government that there is a perception that corruption has increased in certain areas, and there is a perception or a decrease in confidence of people as to what will occur when they report corruption. But it's important to know that there are protections in place, commonly known as whistleblower protections, but our Public Interest Disclosure Act protects people who make complaints under certain circumstances and protects their identity and protects them from persecution repercussions should they make those complaints. And IBAC is the custodian of the Public Interest Disclosure Act. So those things are in place, and through our network, again, the information that we have on our website and other agencies have on theirs, people will be able to see and understand those protections available to them should they wish to make a complaint or even ask questions.
Registrations for FastTrack are now open on the VLGA website. I look forward to seeing you there.